All right, it's time to see what's going on in our kitchen. Chef Ashley, Chef Michael, and Cherish are already there.
Yes, and we are going to make some chicken Florentine this morning. This is going to have some fried spinach too. So you have, of course, your cream spinach when you think Florentine, but the fried is going to add a little twist, right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first thing I guess we need to do is start on our sauce, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what do we need to do?
What we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 ounces of cubed butter. You're going to go ahead and put it in the pan, let that melt down a little bit. Have a wire whisk on hand. Once the butter melts down a little bit, you're going to go ahead and you're going to add in about 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic.
Okay. And this whole thing only takes about 40 minutes to make, so not too long.
Not too long, very easy.
Okay. All right, so the garlic, we have the butter. What are we going to do after that?
Right now what we're going to do is we're going to melt down the butter. We're going to brown out the garlic a little bit, saute it, let it release its own natural flavors, and then we're going to add some flour to it to make it a blonde roux.
Okay.
And what a roux is when you're cooking, a roux is a half parts fat and a half part flour mixture that is used as a thickening agent in food.
Okay, and we know from experience, roux, you have to stir, stir, stir. This is something you can't leave.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when you cook down a roux, the browner the roux gets, the least of a thickening agent it has. It loses its ability to thicken. Like gumbos use a brown roux, and that's why they're a much thinner type soup.
Okay, all right, so this is mixing. You can smell the garlic, you can smell the butter mixing up. Smells really, really good. So as this is melting and while you add the flour and everything, let's talk a little bit about Sunset Supper, and it's going to be for the Lighthouse. Is this something we're going to have there at the Sunset Supper?
Correct.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it. Tell us about the Lighthouse and what you guys do.
Well, we're having an event for the Lighthouse. It's a charitable organization, and they're going to have this meal, and it'll be prepared with Statler chicken breast, which is also called airline chicken breast. We're going to have it for about 200 to 250 people.
Wow,
so we're going to have a really big event.
Okay, and what about tickets?
The tickets you can find out more information from the Lighthouse.
Okay, and we'll put that phone number on fox10tv.com on our Studio 10 page, and it is going to be Thursday. It's going to be at Rock Creek, so if you want to make plans to have a nice dinner that evening, beautiful setting, of course, Rock Creek. If you've never been there, it's in the Fairhope area, so that'll be fabulous. Tickets are $50, 6 o'clock, and again, we're going to have that on fox10tv.com on our Studio 10 page. Now, you just added the flour.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and how long are we going to cook these ingredients together?
You cook these together for roughly about a minute.
Okay, that's not long. So again, the butter, the garlic, and the flour. That's what we have right here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what are we going to do after that?
After this, we're going to go ahead and add all of our liquid ingredients, which is going to be chicken broth and heavy cream.
Okay, and that's going to finish off the sauce pretty much?
That's going to cook down and release all the flavors from the roux. It's going to allow the roux to actually activate at its certain temperature, which is roughly around 160. The roux will activate and start thickening the sauce. And then after that, you're going to cook it for about 7 to 8 minutes. And once all the flavors have been released, that's when you add your fresh chopped spinach. Let that cook in for about a minute, and then use salt and pepper to season to taste.
Oh man, it's smelling so good. This is one of those days I wish you guys had the smell-o-vision thing. One day, the way technology is going, it is coming, I can tell you. All right, so in just a few seconds, I guess we can add the next ingredients. Stir, stir, stir. All right, and here comes, what's first?
Going to use some chicken broth.
Okay. And how much chicken broth?
Chicken broth is all depending on how much you're actually going to make. You want to keep it about 50% with the heavy cream that you put in. So however many people you're going to cook for, if you put a cup of heavy cream, put a cup of chicken broth. But with this particular one, we're using about 3/4 of a cup of each.
Okay, great. And you said that's going to cook down about 8 minutes or so.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll let that cook, and if you want to make this at home, the recipe, as well as all the information about that big dinner happening Thursday night at Rock Creek, is on our Studio 10 page on fox10tv.com. Then when we come back, maybe we can cook some chicken.
Well, of course, maybe try it a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
We have a full kitchen this morning on Studio 10. I'm in the kitchen with Chef Ashley, Chef Michael, and Joanne Shields has joined us from the Lighthouse. She's going to tell us a little bit more about their event in just a sec. But first, it looks like we finished up our dish.
Just about. Right now we have the pen pasta that we boiled earlier. What you're going to do is once you finish the sauce, toss the pasta in a little bit of the sauce. We also have some pan-seared chicken that we season with garlic, salt, pepper, and parsley. Put a little bit of oil in a saute pan. Dry batter it in flour, sear it off, put it in the oven for about 8 minutes to finish cooking it off. fan it out, and put a little bit more of the Florentine sauce on top. And the finishing touch, of course, is always a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper to taste, the new age spin on it, which is going to be our fried spinach chips.
How do you get that spinach fried like that without it wilting?
Just basic frying.
Wow.
You can pan fry it, you can deep fry it.
I have never seen that done with spinach before.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to try it?
I would like to try
Very
it.
good.
This is so good.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is delicious. It's like a chip.
Yes, ma'am. That's why we call them the spinach chips. And
Very good.
Traditional Florentine doesn't, but my personal favorite, always coming from an Italian family, is I have to have Parmesan cheese on everything, so I always like to add that just to give it that little extra flavor at the end.
I want to make some of these at home. It tastes like, is there some butter in that? How do I do that?
It is actually just oil, heated. You drop fresh baby leaf spinach in it, pull it out, put it on a towel to strain, and toss it in salt and pepper.
Very good. So, Joanne, tell us a little bit more specifics about this event coming up at the Lighthouse.
Well, this is our 16th annual Sunset Supper. It goes toward the domestic violence and sexual assault programs of the Lighthouse. It's going to be a lot of fun. It starts at 6 p.m. Tickets are $50. You can get them at the door, or you can call the Lighthouse for more information. We have silent auction, raffle, and we even have a fortune teller this year.
Wow. Any more details on the fortune telling?
She's setting up a booth outside, setting up some ambiance, some candles. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I'm going to have another one of these spinach chips because they're so delicious. And in the meantime, we're going to put the recipes to our food on fox10tv.com under the Studio 10 tab. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us on Studio 10. Chef Michael and Chef Ashley from Rock Creek Club. Just finished up that chicken Florentine. Let's get another shot of that. Looking really good. Now remind everybody what all is in this chicken, because I know it's, or in this Florentine, it's a little bit different.
What we have right here is a traditional chicken Florentine with a little bit of new age twist on it. It's going to be a betta penne pasta with a spinach cream sauce. The chicken itself was actually in a flour batter and then lightly pan fried and seared and finished off in the oven for about 8 minutes. And that's going to be topped with a creamy Florentine spinach cream sauce with fried spinach sauteed in salt and pepper.
Oh, fried spinach is so good. If you've never had it, definitely something you should try. And you have this entire recipe you've given to us, right, guys?
Yes.
It's on fox10tv.com on our Studio 10 page. This is something you'll be serving at the Sunset Supper for the Lighthouse. It's Thursday at Rock Creek.
Correct.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that and why we should be there.
Oh, you should be there because it's a charitable organization that does a lot of things for the community.
Okay, so tickets are going to be $50. It's Thursday evening, 6 o'clock at Rock Creek, and the phone number that you'll need to call to get the tickets. Also, this recipe on fox10tv.com on our Studio 10 page. That's looking really good, and we have some dessert there too. Can't wait to taste.